Okay, sorry guys. Okay, now people are asking. Okay, sorry, I got a little distracted. Okay, okay. So this live is welcome, welcome. I don't even know if I played the. Let me play my video real quick. Um, for the month of May. Let me go ahead and play this.
D here from the Dishing Tea with D show. This year, Vivid Lifestyles VVLS is honoring National Missing Children's Day and is teaming with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We are asking for your help to raise $10,000. To share your generosity, go to the link provided on the screen. And if you have any information regarding a missing child, please report it to your local authorities or call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800 The Lost. That is 1-800 843 5678.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted because one of the people I follow was on live, and I still have her playing in the background. I got like two things playing in the background, so if I get distracted, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try to lower them so I don't get distracted because this is actually really important information I do want to get out to everybody. This is background information on like not background information, but backgrounds on the infant abductions abduction. So what they did is it's a program. It maintains the statistics regarding the number and location of infant abductions and provides technical assistance and training to healthcare and security professionals in effort to prevent infant abductions from occurring in their facilities. I know it's severe weather over here, rain. Okay, so here is the list. I'm gonna see if I can share the screen because I want y'all to see this. Because some people are visual. It's a window. If I do a window, I don't think you can hear me. You might. Okay. Okay. So this is we're gonna go. Did I share it? Didn't come up. Okay. So let's put this on. Come on. Let's get rid of you. Sneaky pig. Oh, okay. Do it like that. Where's this? Okay. Now I can share it. So here we are. Okay. So let's see. These are what they considered after doing all the statistics, doing their research and everything like that. This again is coming from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So again, this is one of their programs that they have that they just record statistics and things like that. So this list is characteristics of a typical infant abductor. This is the most common, characteristics you would see in an abductor, or when you're out and about and you don't know if you see one of the children that may be on the list, things like that. This is also to let inform people, and then not only this is also when it comes to children, and it may be their own parent and things like that. So this is something you always want to keep in mind. Not saying that this is 100% accurate all the time in all kids, all infant abductions, but these are the high vast of them where they see a lot more of. So the list of characteristics was developed from an analyst of 342 cases occurring from 1964 through January 2025. So this is very updated and very the statistics and this test was done pretty over a long period of time, but was ended recently. They needed a whole bunch of obviously information to gather a lot of information. So the first the first one says it's usually a female of a childbearing age who appears pregnant. That could be one. Within the ages of 18 and probably younger, because kids nowadays are really young when they start having kids nowadays. Like, I guess, back in the day, they were having them young, due to the fact that they didn't have the medical knowledge we do now, or some of the medical scientific effects that they have out there, like the contraceptions and things like that. So scientific medicines and things like that. So, they're going to be pre-age and probably up until your 40s and 50s. So anywhere in between the age range. I know that's a big age range, but childbearing age who appears to be pregnant. So they may be pregnant, may not be pregnant, or they could just be big. Sorry, don't want to put that out there. But second, most likely compulsive, most often relies on manipulation, lying, and deception. So basically, a narcissist, you know, or a liar, a pathological liar. Um, and then obviously manipulation, where they're going to do whatever they can for you to believe what they're telling you to believe. Um, bullet number three frequently indicates she has lost a baby or is incapable of having one. So again, somebody within that childbearing age, because usually if they're older, they're not childbearing, or that's falls on the parts they can't have one. But usually, when you're past a certain age, you probably won't. I don't know. Maybe it's in here. I don't. We're reading this together. So, so I think- Oh, there it is. So, so again, frequently indicates that she has lost her baby. So it's like if you lost your baby, why do you have a child now, kind of thing? Or if you're not capable of having one, how did you end up with this one? Like, is it adopted? These are like questions that will probably across, sooner or later, especially if they're incapable of having one or something. It's like, how in the world did you get this child? Like this baby, like this baby can't talk, this baby can't think. Like, who just gave you this baby? Like, can I see adoption papers or something? Anywho, bullet number 4: often married or cohabiting. Companion's desire for a baby or the abductor's desire to provide her companion with his baby may be the motivation of the abduction. So, more than likely, the partner, either her or the partner, wants a baby, and she's just um, wanting to give him the baby. We all desire. When you find somebody, you want to have a family. So, these are all common abductor characteristics. So usually a female childbearing who appears pregnant, most likely compulsive, often relies on manipulation, lying, and deception, frequently indicates she is lost a baby or incapable of having one, or married or living with somebody who wants a child. Either she or he wants a child. And then another characteristic is usually lives in the community where the abduction takes place. So it's usually close to home. They're not going to go out of state, too far out of the city. Maybe a little on the outskirts, but never too far out. It's always going to be because they're going to want the baby to stay safe. They're not going. You know what I mean? Um, Frequently, initially visits nursery and maternity units at more than one healthcare facility prior to the abduction, asks detailed questions about procedures and the maternity floor layout, frequently uses a fire exit stairwell for her escape, and may also try to abduct from the home setting. So basically, they kind of scout. They go when they do their research. When they're already came up with the mind that they're going to take a child, they do the research. They go to the hospitals. They start asking like, "Where's the maternity ward?" Or "How do you get from the maternity ward? How do you get to the parking lot?" It could be, "Oh, I'm lost." Things like that. They can seem very innocent, but these are questions that will raise a red flag. Um, Usually plans the abduction, but does not necessarily target a specific infant. So it's not necessarily a specific baby they're going after. It's They just want a baby, whether it's a boy, a girl, black, white, Hispanic, African American, Indian, Native American, anything like that. Um, it doesn't matter. Whether it has health issues, I'm sure most mothers who are wanting a baby are not going to mind whether the baby has health issues. So they don't have a specific baby that they have in mind to take. They're just happy to have a baby. Frequently impersonates a nurse or other allied healthcare personnel, so doctor, nurses, HR staff, things like that, security guard, maybe anybody that has access to the hospital, they're gonna try to personate. Often becomes familiar with healthcare staff member work routines, and victim parents. So they're there a lot, or let's just say they volunteer for victims or crisis for children and families and things like that. So they're pretty familiar with the staff and things like that. That's also somebody you want to be aware of. Often demonstrates a capability to provide care to the baby once the abduction occurs within her emotional and physical abilities. So again, hopefully they don't take a baby that where they're not able to care for, because then that could become even more dangerous. In addition, an abductor who abducts from the home setting is more likely to be single while claiming to have a partner. So basically, she may have lost her partner and her baby and whatnot, and looking for somebody to love and love her back. And unfortunately, taking a baby is what they consider the only option for help. Often targets a mother whom she may find by visiting healthcare facilities and tries to meet the target family. Basically, interjects, pretends to be nice. How you doing? Can you give me directions? Blah 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 blah, and then can either target follow, either take the baby then or follow the person at home, and then watch their, watch them moves there, sneak into a window, take the baby, or however, I don't know. Often plans the abduction and brings a weapon, although the weapon may not be used. So a lot of times this is planned. This is intentional. This is um, intentional. They're planning it out. They take their time. They ask questions. They watch the staff. They watch this. They watch that. They do this. They lie. They do everything they can do to get their hands on a child, on a baby. And then they often personate a healthcare or social services professional when visiting the home. So not only are they personating, the doctors, nurses, healthcare staff, HR staff, any kind of thing like that, they're also personating CPS workers, social workers, things like that. Pretending to make home calls, get in, snatch baby out, get the, so they can get the view of the layout, or even just, go in, see where the room's at, leave, and then come back later on and be able to take that child. So there is no guarantee an infant abductor will fit this description. So again, these are just the basic characteristics of majority of the cases when it becomes an infant. They fall under one of these categories or one of these descriptions. So, I mean, and at times it could be multiple, childbearing, um, who does have a partner who just had lost a child, who's done this. So if you have like 4 or 5 of these, like I know, it's a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately, our babies are the ones that get taken and gets and has to suffer for this type of situation. So again, these are definitely what you want, especially if you're out and about at a store or whatever, and something that's just doesn't look right. Always want to um, start a conversation, pull out some type of information from the lady or from the person, from the family, and then go from there. But definitely, again, any information about a missing child, call the 1-800 the lost. If you don't feel comfortable calling your local authorities, call 1-800 the lost. They are there to help. Again, these trends include only abductions associated with healthcare facilities, birth announcements, home and public locations, and by ruse. So how they attempted to get the parents or the child away from the parents. Supporting points, the data below includes nationwide cases concerning abductions by non-family members of newborn infants birth to 6 months from healthcare facilities, homes, and other places. So it was quite a bit. So so the total abductions of infants, so zero birth to 6 months. So anybody who was taken between 0 to 6 months between the years of 1964 and 2025, there were 345, and this includes 3 separate sets of twins. So 345 children, and 6 of those children were sets of twins. But That's a lot. 3 and those are remember, those are only between the ages of 0 6. That's not including I mean, 6 months. That's not including 6 months into 18 years of age. 345 for only 4 infants. Total abducted from 1962 to January 2025 that are still missing are 16. So that means they, what, found 329 infants in that time frame during, so, okay. So, and then, of course, from the general location of the abduction from the house, 152 of them were from the house. 140 of them were from a healthcare facility, and 50 were from other locations where they were out at a store or carnival, things like that, out in public, things like that, of that sort. Out of those 152 that were missing, that were taken from their home between years 1964 and 2025, out of those 152, 7 are still missing that were taken from the home. Out of the 140 infants that were taken from healthcare facilities from 1964 to January of 2025, 5 of them are still missing. And 50 And out of the 50 infants that were taken from other locations outside the home and healthcare facilities from 1964 to 2025, 4 of them are still missing. And then it breaks it down. If the baby was taken from a healthcare facility, 82 of them were taken from the mother's room. 22 of them were taken from the premises. So that means they were completely taken off the premises. Anywhere, not specifically from the nursery. Not It could have been in visiting you know, another relative in there and got snatched while they were doing visiting hours or something. Um, from the nursery, 19 of them were taken from the nursery. And out of all those from the healthcare facilities, 17 were taken from the pediatrics. But 59% of these baby infant abductors that were taken from the healthcare facility. So 140 were taken from the healthcare facilities. 59% of that, which is 82 of them, were taken from the mother's room. From the mother's room. So the mother's either sleeping, like they said, they're portraying to be a nurse, they're portraying to be a doctor, they're portraying, so the mom is sleeping, you coming in, they're coming in at all sorts of hours. They come in almost every hour. You cannot get no sleep when you have a baby. You think once you going into the hospital to get some rest, you're not. They wake you up more than the baby wakes you up. Like they wake you up to wake up your baby to eat. Like I'm like, no, I'm trying to get some sleep. My baby's sleeping. I'm sleeping. Like no, but you gotta wake them up to feed them. But they were taken from their mother's room. So that's crazy. Abductors gender, 96% of them are female. And a lot of them do fall under those characteristics of the characteristics that we discussed earlier. 2% were male and 2% are unknown. So they don't even know who. Well, one, they can't even. I'm pretty sure those 2% are probably the unknown children that are still missing, because if you don't know them, how are you going to know their abductor? So, yeah. And then it does break it down to, okay, we're not going to get into ethnicity. I mean, a woman is a woman. I mean, It's pretty spread out. 42% of them are black, and then the next highest is going to be the white. So 42, 36, and then 19 Hispanic. Then of course you have Asian and multiracial and things like that, which is a very small percentage, which is under 4 or 5%. So the abductors age when they take a child, like I said, anywhere between 14 and 50 years old, because they're childbearing age. Um, 66 were between the age of 14 and 19. So these were young abductors when they took a child. They took a child at age 14 or 19. Now, not to say that it isn't I think these are non-family members, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it's a family member, then that's a different story. But the ages 20 to 29, there were 111. So it looks like between the age of 20 and 30, between the ages and 20 and 40 looks like to be the highest. Because then you have 92 94 between the ages of 30 39, and then anything higher is 32 and 5. 32 are unknown. And then you have more impersonations. Okay, so these were out of those who were abducted, 66 of them impersonated a nurse or other healthcare worker. I mean, 72. So over 40% from healthcare facilities, from home, or from other locations. So if they impersonated a nurse or a healthcare worker, they more than likely took it from a facility. Or like I say, remember that sometimes they'll go to the home and pretend like, hey, we have a follow-up to do with your baby, blah blah blah. So things like that. But they would never impersonate a nurse and go out in public and try to steal one. um so majority, when they were pretending to be a nurse or a healthcare worker, they were taking it from they were taking the baby from a healthcare facility. A babysitter or child care worker, those types of abductions are normally taken, the babies are taken from the home because the babysitter watches the baby at the house, or the social worker's got to come in and say, hey, we had a complaint, we need to do an investigation, blah blah blah. So a relative or friend, they impersonated a relative or friend or acquaintance. um, that was from majority of them are coming from the home because, like I said, when the baby is newborn, you may have your mom or somebody else helping you out while you're resting and taking care of the baby and things like that. So the mom might not know whether all your friends, so that somebody can say, hey, I'm a friend of so and so, can I come in, see the baby, blah blah blah, whatever whatever, and the next thing you know, baby gone. um Somebody, they impersonated, to be like involved in a business related interaction with mother, like saying, hey, she ordered a couch, and I'm here to deliver it, can we come in and see? Or like, hey, there's a delivery coming, or there's a package, there's this. I work with, I'm a co-worker, I work with so and so, whatever whatever. I mean, they impersonate social workers, insurance, or other government like, hey, I work for Blue Cross Blue Shields, blah blah. Your baby needs to be on health insurance. How would you like to set that up today? Mom goes, takes a drink, and baby gone. I see a lot of criminal minds, so a lot of these are not me coming up with them. They're just probably something I seen on TV already. So don't think I'm crazy and I come up with all these scenarios of how to abduct a child, because I don't. Trust me. I got 6 of them. I don't need any more. Um, so the outcome of the abductions, when a child is taken, and they may or may not be returned safely. So out of all the infant abductions, the 300, I think it was 352 that I said earlier, 354, out of those abductions, the outcome of the abduction involved violence. That was
That was 79 of them involved violence. 42 um, ended up in infant's mother's death, which means they might have, you know, murked the mother to get the baby. Um, or the infant died. That was 12 of them. That's 4% out of those. So no, that doesn't make sense. So 79, 42. Oh, so this must be the ones that are still part of this section. Okay. Supporting point. Okay. So 23% ended in violence, 42 12% ended in the mother's death, and 4% ended up in the infant's death. Oh, that's so sad. Fetal abductions, cesarean abductions. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh no, they're okay. I thought it was my kids. They're playing though. I can hear the train now. They're being choo-choos. I was like, why are they yelling? Okay. Fetal abductions make up 7% of all infant abductions reported to the NCMEC. So, fetal abductions, cesarean abductions. What the heck? They go in there and they take the baby out of the tummy. Wait, what? So, there have been 23 cases of fetal abductions reported to NCMEC since 1974. Out of the 23 cases, 21 mothers were killed or died as a result of the attack and or cesarean abduction. So they literally cut the out of 23 cases, 10 fetuses died as a result of the cesarean abduction. No, they do not. Okay, I heard that. No, they don't cut somebody's. What? That's just crazy. I can't even think about that. I don't even want to picture it. Additional Q&As. Can you tell us more about the analysis you conducted? First and foremost, this is not scientific research study. Given timing and relevancy, we believe it's important to share the trends and patterns seen within these analysis with parents, guardians, and healthcare professionals. This analysis includes data compiled from 1964 through January 2025. And how do you collect infant abduction information? NCMEC's Team Adam program works with local law enforcement, healthcare facilities, and the media to ensure information on infant abductions. The data includes information from enforcement and healthcare professionals. Oh, I'm sorry. The data includes information from confirmed incidents NCMEC staff can locate through media, voluntary reports from law enforcement, and healthcare professionals. Team Adam is a free resource provided by the Team Adam is a free resource provided by the NCMEC to law enforcement. Team Adam consultants are retired law enforcement professionals with years of experience at the federal, state, and local levels. The program's unique access to NCMEC's resources coupled with years of law enforcement experience provides departments with the added tools needed to help address complex media intensive cases. Excuse me. I know I brought a water, but I don't know what I did with it. Okay. So yes, oh, it was 342. So again, really, if you see something, say something, especially when it comes to infants and children. Infants, toddlers, and kids. Infants, toddlers, and children. Like we want to bring them home safely. Like we got to, if we see something, say something. I big firm on that, but big believer on that. Again, if you to if you like the information, please like, share, subscribe, share, whatever. Comments below. If you want to see more, if you have any information regarding missing child, please call your local law enforcement. If you are scared or terrified, or if your law enforcement is not really the one to do its due diligence, please contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800 the lost. That's 1-800-843-5678. If you would like to help out and share your generosity to these resources and to help find and locate these missing children to bring them home to their families and their loved ones, go to the link provided on the screen, the give.missingkids.org/VVLS. We teamed up. We are with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We are fundraising for them. We are trying to earn as much money throughout the month of May for May 25th, the National Missing Children's Day, and so again, please share your generosity if you can. If you, that's one way you cannot share, then please share the video, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing you more information all this month of May, and please see something, say something, call 1-800 the lost. All right, you guys have a good one. I'll be back later to give y'all more information or more stories. I am still working on additional video for the flyers, so I will have another part 2 for the May marathon as far as that. But I believe I did another premiere for the part 1, so I'm gonna try to play part 1 as much as possible until I could get part 2, and then once I get part 2, I'll be rotating them out. So please, if y'all know anybody or have anybody that wants to come up and discuss or or has any information regards to missing children, and they want to come up, I'm more than welcome. Please have them reach out to me. We can put them up on here and have a discussion and tell their story. Also, if you would just like to come up and say something in regards to this, please, my platform is always open. Obviously to the topic in regards to, but again, like, subscribe, share, join, become a member. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Locals, Twitch, anything. I am here. I am putting this information out there for everybody. So go to all your platforms and just share it. Share it. We need to bring these missing children home. That's the bottom line. Okay? So you guys enjoy y'all's Friday. Happy Friday. Viva Fiesta, and pinkies up.